Welcome to Being at Home with George. It's great to be here, and I'd like to begin the session by creating the possibility of saying yes to life, embracing whatever comes up, and at the same time generating hope. So today I'd like to talk about transformation, and it's occurred to me that when I wanted transformation, that the only way I was going to get it is to be around others who wanted transformation or who were transformed. So being around others and having those conversations about the how-to conversation is really important because we are who we are based on the networks of communications we have with our community or with our tribe. So it's a network of relationships, which is another way of saying tribe, but it's not just being in the tribe or being in those relationships, but having this idea of having a suitable conversation that is in alignment with who we say we want to be. So if we want to maybe give up something, like if we want to get clean, in my case, if I wanted to get clean and sober, I had to be around people who were clean and sober. And if I wanted to be able to manage my stress and to have peace to get through the stress, I had to be around people who were doing that, who were interested in transforming stress into peace of mind or getting to the other side of it. So that was really important for me, and that's been my experience. And it's interesting because my father told me a long time ago, he talked about this idea of be careful of who you hang out with, or the gangs or the groups you're hanging out with, because you will actually become that group or that gang. And so he talked about that, be careful. And so for me, I got that to the point where if I wanted to go to college or if I wanted to play basketball or sports, I had to hang around with people who were college bound and were athletes. I had to hang around that. And so this idea of transformation, you have to be around transformation. And so for me, when I think about my experience, not just dealing with recovery, but also dealing with chronic pain, that I had to be around and get around people who were transforming their chronic pain and then being able to live a full and unrestricted life. And so I had to be around those folks and have those suitable conversations about that very thing, that subject of how can I manage my pain in a way where I can live a full and creative life. And that led obviously to learning about meditation and learning about transformation, going to places where they were talking about how to be your authentic self, whether it was graduate school in my case, and my reading a book a week. And not only reading the books, but going to these places, like used to be a place called Interface, and going back to school, but going into these centers where people were having conversations about how to do things, how to be transformed, how to be peace, how to be loving. And so it's interesting that I talk about this idea of good friends, and those are the folks in this community, in this tribe, or the tribe that I'm interested in, because they're embodying what I'm interested in, what I want, is being around them and having those suitable conversations. And you could say that's what we're doing here. This is why I started this almost 3 years ago, is to have a place where good friends could gather and we can have suitable conversations. This idea of how to be at home with George during COVID. That's where it started out. Now we're not focused on COVID. We're just focused on being at home. And we talk about home is where the heart is. And doing this thing called life in a way where we having these conversations about how to be who we say we want to be, how to do what we say we want to do, and understanding that the doing is in the being. That if we want peace, we have to be peace. If we want love, we have to be love. If we want wisdom, we have to be wisdom. And so that's what we're doing in these conversations. And so this idea about transformation, if you want to transform into a better version of yourself, then it's about identifying those relationships that allow us to have those suitable conversations so we can be who we say we want to be. But for me, all of this comes down to me being my true authentic self. And so by having these conversations and getting to know myself, then I can be myself, and then I can express myself, and then I can share myself, which is conducive to the growth of the whole network of relationships, the whole community, the whole tribe.